some oil fields were hit, but they didn't disclose where or how or the extent of the damage. Have you heard anything about that, Brian?
Yeah, I just want to welcome Ryan onto
Hey,
the stage. Ryan, hope you're doing well. Myron had a question for you, and then do jump in with whatever else you want.
oh yeah, it's just so much news. I don't know where to start.
So he's
I don't
asking
know what
about the
y'all have already
oil,
said either.
the oil tanker being hit.
Oh yeah, they've hit a couple actually.
No, not the oil tanker. I mean the oil fields. I'm sorry.
There's an oil rig that just got hit. That's in
Okay,
the water.
no fields like on land, like the Houthis did before.
No, that's coming.
Okay, that's
The
fine. But
primary
no, go ahead, Brian. I know
targets,
you're gonna
like
say something.
they're gonna hit the ports first, which they did,
Yep.
including Haifa. Not and these almost all of America's defenses went to Israel, obviously. So these Gulf Arab traders are just getting ass raped.
Okay,
And
guys.
then of
Someone in
course,
my chat just said yes, a Saudi oil field was hit. I don't know if someone can verify that, but someone in my chat just said it. But I'm sorry, Ryan. Keep going.
oh, I mean, it may have. There's so much going on; it's hard to keep up
It's
with.
nuts.
Like you get, Bahrain's been hit. Kuwait airport has been hit. The Fifth Fleet dock, by the way, in Bahrain got messed up.
I think it's
Qatar,
27 bases altogether, or 27 U.S./Israel strategic locations. 27 it seems.
yeah, but the Gulf Arabs got it bad because they're not only even the short range missiles and drones can hit them, and they don't have much in the way of defense, and they're just getting waxed. Israel, you have to fire over Iraq and Jordan to even make it there, and they've got their own systems plus the U.S. systems plus some UK systems. It's harder, but in firing that direction, it put all the defense that way, and it allowed them to just smash Bahrain in particular, and Qatar, and Kuwait. And now of course they closed the Strait of Hormuz last night. My time, I'm probably way ahead. I'm in Korea. Well, actually, I'm in Japan right now, same time zone, whatever. And that's gonna hurt. Oil went up 12%, and it's gonna get a lot worse as oil rigs, oil tankers, and soon oil fields are ablaze.
Well, one
But
field's
I'm
remember,
down.
so
that's one of the things
sorry.
Saddam did is he put
One
his own
field is
oil in the
down.
water and set it on fire.
One oil
Sorry,
field in Saudi
guys.
is hit. Chat just confirmed it.
Yeah.
I just want to give this breaking news. The U.S. military, and this is coming out from the Zionist media, so take it for what it's worth. But I will tell you that this one does release before everybody else. The U.S. military is going to announce, or has announced at this point, that 3 of its soldiers were killed and 5 others were seriously injured during the Epic Fury
Yep.
operation.
You mean Epstein Fury?
Here, 100%.
Yo,
I think you pronounced it wrong. It's Epstein Fury.
yo.
We have to go over there and kill kids so that the people who rape kids don't go to jail.
And
But
you know it's a lot
Epstein
more than
Fury,
three,
seven
too.
seven Israelis got killed and a shelter collapsed. It was like 20 something injured.
No,
It's
it's up
hilarious.
to closer to 20 now, Ryan. It's rising.
No, I mean just 7 all in one shot recently.
Ryan, I
You
got a
can
question
count
for you,
my
bro.
crocodile tears. I want it to look like Gaza. I want Tel Aviv to look like Gaza. That's the only thing. Actually,
Ryan,
I
I got
want
a
it to
question
look
for you,
like the
bro.
Sahara Desert. That would be better.
Ryan, I got a question for you. So,
Yeah.
when I first came into space, someone asked me, "What do you think is going to happen?" This is what I think, and I want to get your take on it, whether you agree, and you can kind of give us an hour by hour or day by day. What I'm thinking is step one: retaliate, start destroying the Gulf countries' U.S. military bases, cut off like the support. Then also damage Israel, hit strategic locations. Then after that's done, start going after the aircraft carriers because they won't be able to get logistical support from the military bases while simultaneously cutting off the Strait of Hormuz and creating economic turmoil right before the markets open tomorrow. That's my hypothesis about how they're going to do this or why they're doing this. What do you think? You know, can happen within the next couple of days, day by day
Well,
analysis.
the first 2 parts are correct. I don't think they're going to spend much effort going after the carriers because it's just a lost cause.
Well, what if they just damage them to? Because if they damage them and the rider gets fucked up. Andrew was talking about this earlier. You take it out of
With
commission,
what?
bro. Now what was that?
That thing could sit still and they couldn't sink it.
Well, they're not
Sorry,
trying to sink it though. I'm saying
they can't. They couldn't off balance it, destroy the rudder. That thing is a floating airport.
Andrew, what do you think about that? I know you used to be on
They
carriers.
don't have like what torpedo or what do they have with that kind of firepower? They don't have a lot of underwater gear. It's Iran. They're not a naval power.
It did cost $18 billion though, the Gerald R. Ford. So any kind of damage is probably going to be costly, right?
It'd be very hard to hit the Ford since it's west of Israel. You mean the Lincoln? You can
Yeah,
fire at the Lincoln. I mean, go ahead. Like, he's got a support group with it. It's just the return on investment just isn't there either. Like, if you really concentrated on it, maybe you could do some damage, but for the same amount of payload, you could flatten the whole U.S. base. And it's just not.
Yeah, Ryan,
and get like immediate results, you know.
Yeah, Ryan,
but the goal is to get the jets out of place, bro. That's what I'm saying. Oh, go ahead.
Ryan, they did send 4 missiles at the Lincoln, but I think that was more just to say like we can hit it, because I'm with you. I think with the subsonic missiles, obviously that won't do any damage. Now, if they had the anti-ship ballistic missiles, but if they had the hypersonic,
I mean,
maybe there's
think
something.
about this, like in the Ukraine war, Russia, which has stronger gear than Iran, like they couldn't blow up the bridges across the Dnieper because it's just huge, massive concrete, right? And when the missiles hit an actual airport, it puts a little pothole in the road, and it's a fucking aircraft carrier. Like that's why they cost what they cost. Like, forget about it.
All right, so Ryan,
the Chinese have stuff that can sink them. That's about it.
Well, remember they just got that Chinese missile that can do it. But go back to you, Ryan, real quick. So can you take us day by day? What do you think is going to happen from this point?
Well, I actually agree with the first stuff you were saying. Like you got to take out the ones closest to you. I mean, it's satisfying as it is, and we all want Israel to burn. Strategically, it's better to take out places where they can redock and refuel and put a lot of hurt on the economies of these Gulf Arab Sunni terrorists, whore island, fake Muslim sheep fuckers, whatever. Can't stand them. I can't stand any of them. All of them sided with Israel, including the little terrorists in Syria that have been taken over by ISIS. They all did. So fuck
what do you
them.
think is the next step from here? Like what's going to happen next?
They're not done with that. They're still going to continue to hit Bahrain and Qatar. And UAE is not as important, but they're going to hit them too.
How much longer do you think they're going to attack those before they start really pummeling Israel and maybe even an aircraft carrier?
I think Iraq is finished. Kuwait is finished. They're going to wax up on Bahrain and Qatar a bit more. And then they're already hitting Israel. The solid fuel rockets, they used a little, like 4. That's what these death tolls come from. Those are coming. But you got to realize they got to kind of keep at bay and take it on the chin a couple more days because the U.S. is flying and hitting everything with Tomahawks, and that'll calm down. I really don't think they're going to be able to do much to the U.S. Navy, like as satisfied as that would be. And trust me, nobody wants to sink something named the Lincoln more than I do. But I just don't think I'm being realistic. There's nothing they can do about it. But they can hit Israel all day, every day, and that's the next step. They do need to cause chaos in the Strait of Hormuz because they don't have the power to set up a blockade, but you don't have to. You just need it, the probability to be high enough that you could get sunk, that insurance will go out the roof and people will quit sending, and it's done. That China is going to pressure them. Like they don't like oil. All of Asia is getting mad right now that oil prices are going so high, but they blame it on the ones who started the war. And who started the war? The Israelis. Again, their name is mud. Like Israel has really fucked itself, and I was just like, are they this arrogant and stupid? Do you even have to ask about the hubris of these people? Of course they are. Now they like East Asia was kind of indifferent. They don't care. They're not religious. They don't know. They're just whatever. We'll buy oil from whoever. Nobody likes Israel now. Nobody. Just your Christian Zionist holy rollers in the U.S. and like everyone can't stand them. They started this war. No one likes these little perfume princes from the Gulf either.
I got a quick question.
With the
Sully or Ryan can take this. So I was in a space with Truth Taylor earlier, right? And I was asking him, like, dude, we know that the Iranians picked up some Chinese radars and surface air missiles that counter, American stealth aircraft. Why haven't they been utilized? And he's saying that they're just suppressing the information. And he also brought up an interesting point. You guys remember that drone that got taken down like mysteriously like a day or two ago? Truth Teller was saying more than likely it was identified by the Chinese radar and shot down with the new technology they got. That's what he was saying.
China's providing their eye in the sky, and they sold some AWACS systems, so they have early warning, but it doesn't matter. The U.S. Air Force has total supremacy. Sorry,
Okay.
they do. They just, that it's like, oh, you could shoot down some drones. That's, yeah, okay. Better than nothing. But
So you think they got air
they're just so
superiority
far
right now at
behind.
this
Like
point?
it's mostly Iran's main weapon is ballistic missiles, which is a great weapon. But you're not going to win the air war, and you're not going to win the sea war, and you don't need to. All you need to do is cause enough pain that they tap out. But you look at the two navies, you look at the they don't have that much from China. Like the U.S. has some 400 planes. They don't even. It's not doable. Sorry. It would be fucking satisfying to shoot one down. That would be awesome. I don't see that happening. I do see them blowing up drones, and those are expensive, and that hurts too. But at the end of the day, the best defense is offense. Just keep hitting Israel with ballistic missiles.
And
Hezbollah has been activated as well.
Yeah, what's your evidence of that, Ryan? Because we've not seen anything from that. I've been looking.
Yeah, you'll see they will. Because I know people in Hezbollah.
Yeah, you mentioned it in our interview, but I'm just like, I've not seen, and I do mention it whenever I say, "Oh, look, the source is Ryan," but I just they've not like done anything or said anything that seems like it's that anything's happened.
No, they're just skirmishing in the north right now, but they have coordinated with Iran. So this is like when Iran pulls that trigger, they've got a plan. And so they were sidelining. Israel warned them because the problem is, the moment they begin, Israel's just going to bomb civilians in Beirut. Everyone knows this. Like, this is how they do wars. They just shoot like residential areas. Israel bombed the Red Crescent in Iran. Like, why? I think
Probably
Iran should do it back. Like, hit their
US
hospitals.
location.
What's that?
No, I was gonna say that might be foreign intelligence locations, because me and Slu were talking about this. CIA and Mossad likes to use like random commercial buildings to hide their operations.
No,
They're hitting random
they hit
buildings.
the Red Crescent in Iran.
Oh, my bad. Okay, gotcha. I didn't hear that
And
part.
what's the point of that? Just
weird.
That's how they fight. That's what they did in Gaza. They're just like they just started shooting the whole city. They don't care. There was that hotel in the UAE that got hit is because a bunch of military officers went there. They fled from the base, and they knew what hotel they were at, and they knew what floor they were on too, and they tagged it. That's legitimate, It's a war, and these people house U.S. bases and were used as a staging point. I really think, and I said this a few spaces ago, and some of y'all remember, Iran should have preempted this. Like, why wait for America to get in place and get its carriers there and get its refuelers there? Like, you knew they were going to do this. You should have just hit Israel right away before they were in place.
I think
They're like, oh, well, they can't start it. I'm like,
reasons.
yes, they can. Whether they start it or not, they're going to be the bad guy because they don't own the media. So just go ahead and start it.
For diplomacy reasons, for the international community. So it gives them more wiggle room to say, look, we're defending ourselves. You know what I mean?
They'd already
It was probably done by
three
China and
times.
Russia too. It was probably requested by their allies, like China and Russia as well.
Because now the United States and Israel look shitty, bro. I can't lie. Like, this is a stupid, pointless war. Like, it's ridiculous that we basically started this shit.
You knew it was on their script, right? After Iraq, Syria, Libya, they wrote that out. It's based on Netanyahu's book. This is Israel's war, and I hope people stop talking about petrodollar and oil and all this bullshit. Like, sanctioning countries makes them move away from the dollar, not towards it. And if you sanction them, you don't buy any oil, so you're not getting oil either. You actually make the price go down. It's about Israel. Israel wanted these wars. Israel wants to take out all the resistance to their land annexation and ethnic cleansing, and they started this war. They started it. They've hit Iran more than once. Remember, we had Promise 1, Promise 2, 3.
Yeah,
Israel
this is Promise 4 now
started
at this
all
point,
these
bro.
conflicts.
Yeah, this is Promise 4
Israel
at this
started
point.
it in Syria and Iraq too, bombing non-existent nuclear reactors.
All right, I'll
It's
be back, guys.
that's
And
why
just
it's Epstein Fury. That's what it should be called.
yeah, good one, Zion. Just some more
I
breaking
want everyone
news.
to
It's
Israel that just saying Operation Epstein Fury.
yeah, Ryan, and just more breaking news. This is what Didi mentioned earlier. I have seen it in a few more sources, so it does seem to be extremely credible. 3 US soldiers have died and 5 are seriously injured in epic fury. And then I wrote, Trump did say Americans will have to die, and it's for Israel. Thoughts, Ryan?
Fucking retarded, dude. Holy shit! Wow.
It's just, I mean, if you're fighting a war for Israel and you die, I don't have a lot of sympathy. I have sympathy for those 80-something schoolgirls that died when their girls' school was bombed. I think the U.S. did that, but of course, that's really Israel because they dragged us into war anyway. I feel bad for that. As far as U.S. soldiers dying in a war that's completely unnecessary, because Israel told us to jump off a cliff, fuck you and your family. Like, you're stupid enough to do that. You're not serving the country. You're not serving the Constitution. Don't give me these speeches. You are a bitch for Israel. That's what you are. And now they're dead. And well, like, what a waste of life. They're probably like 19, they're probably young. What a wasted life. Like, that's what
Backlash.
you did. You grew up, you went off to war for Israel, and you died. So stupid.
Yeah, and what's your thoughts on the fact that Trump, he gave a speech, he said, look, we're going to sacrifice American lives for Israel. We know it's for Israel. And then now we do have Americans who died.
Yeah, like he's preparing people. Like, what was that for? Like, it's a war. Of course, people die. I guess last time they didn't because we only dropped 14 bombs. But they're willing to lose 10,000 if they have to. It doesn't matter. You're just Goyim. Lutnick and all the people around Trump, they don't care. What they say, like, one Jewish life is worth how many, I guess, unlimited number of cattle. They didn't. He's not going to say it's for Israel. Everybody knows it is. Everybody with a brain can see Israel dragged us into this war. Israel dragged us into Iraq as well. I'm still mad about that. All those lies about WMDs came from neocon Jews. All of them. And the whole thing was culminated by 9/11. We all know who did that as well. It's just, I'm furious. I kind of wanted this war to happen because I didn't think it would go as well as the yids that rape kids think it would, and it's not. They've bitten off more than they can chew. They thought, oh, it'll be a quick war and it'll be over soon. You're still getting bombed. Strait's still closed. What you gonna do? And that, I'll tell you what, the carrier, because it loitered around for about half a month, it's only got about 20 more days and it's got to leave. Doesn't have unlimited fuel and ammo. And it's sitting there making an electronic warfare path, I know, for the planes. That's its main thing. But it can't be out there all day, every day. And what will they do without that? I'm not impressed with the Israeli offense. It's mostly been all America. And it's like some kid that runs and is like, Dad, or gets their older brother or something. They can't win this fight. So they drag the U.S. into it. And there's some protests in New York and D.C. I saw. And they need to be super clear with the message that Israel did this. Quit making excuses. Quit blaming it on all this other bullshit. It's Israel. That's what the world needs to see. It's really clear. These are the people, the ones with rape islands that blackmail your politicians. Yeah, that's why we're at war. That's why you can't afford a house. Speaking in the royal you know, it's like a lot of these things, all these speculations that they do, insider trading and all this stuff. Like it's always the same group.
You know what's
And
crazy?
if Iran falls, the West Bank will get completely annexed, and they will go into southern Lebanon. I promise you, because there'll be nothing to stop them.
You know what's crazy?
Ryan, I've got a.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just want to. By the way, hello everybody. I'm back. Hi, Simon, Brother Hussein, Casey, Ryan, Didi. Oh, look at that. I was going to come to you, Ivy, but forget it after those. I'll go to Andrew instead. Hi, Andrew and Adam. Listen, Ryan, I've got I was dying to frigging speak. I wanted to jump in right after Sneeko left, to be honest, but then the moment was kind of gone to say how good it was to have him on the space and how funny he is, and love the conversation between you and him, Sulaiman. You should get back on his stream, and Simon and him would be a brilliant collaboration. The three of you together would be brilliant together. So yeah, big win to Sneeko. Really appreciated that conversation. Hope he comes back. But just not to distract too much from this, Ryan, I've got a question for you, right? Do you think deep down somewhere the GCC countries are secretly happy that like the American bases are kind of being destroyed and they're not going to be there anymore, hopefully. And they're kind of making all the right noises, like we condemn, whatever. Iran's our neighbor, we don't know what to do. But they're not actually doing much about it because they're thinking, thank God someone's going to take these bases off our land.
I think the public never wanted him there in the first place. They just kind of enjoy being on the winning side, whoever it is. So a lot of these people, you know, you get an influx of capital and money if you obey. And they're like, just obey, because they don't have any principles. It's they just want it. But a lot of the regular like blue collar people, like I don't think they're even secret. They were celebrating it. You could see them filming and like watching America get what it deserves. And as long as Iran contains it to the bases and doesn't just start bombing their cities like the Israelis do, they don't mind. They're like, let America take it on the chin. They don't benefit from it anyway. You know, it's just the ruling class that gets all the benefits from basically rolling over for Zog. So having an American base now makes you less safe. It's like, oh, you have U.S. base missiles coming toward you. Oh, you wanted to trade oil?
Yeah.
Too bad. The strait's closed. You know why? Because all of you sided with the enemy. All of you turned your back on Palestinians. All of you turned your back on Syrians. All of you turned your back on Lebanon. So eat a dick. Like Jordan, you'd think with the huge Palestinian population that's been forced to live there, you know, they can't be happy that Jordan is the way it is. But you know, they don't obey, they don't have water rights, and I know the reasons. But who couldn't smile at U.S. bases getting by? Even Americans are secretly happy. They're like, well, yeah, we're bullies, like we deserve it. Everyone likes it.
Thanks, Ryan. Listen, I really appreciate you coming on. I haven't seen you on our space since the beginning of the.
Yo, I'm out here hunting bear, and they decide to start the war. I'm in the woods with I don't even have a computer or anything. I have a phone, so I'm not in the woods right now. But like that's what I've been doing all day.
No, I appreciate you coming on. I do like listening to you, and I know the audience do, and the chat on YouTube loves you. They like your perspective. They find your takes quite unique as well. So thanks for that, Ryan. I'll pass it back to Sulaiman.
Well, it is what I said. Look, they are 100% going to go to war with Iran, and it's going to go like this, and it has. I wish I was wrong, because but this time, you know, Iran has a good chance of winning this. Like they're not out. This could be the best. This is really the only way to stop them.
When you say winning it, what do you mean winning it? Like what's gonna happen? Basically, what's the win? It's gonna be Israel's gonna stop striking, and then Iran's gonna stop striking. What's the win in this? What does it look like?
Yeah. So like, how does this end? Right. This ends with Israel destroyed. Because look, the
They're
demands
not going to
are
be able to
ridiculous.
destroy
Get rid
Israel,
of
are
your
they?
nuclear
Really?
enrichment,
You
get rid
think?
of their nuclear program, which they didn't have anyway. Get rid of your ballistic missiles. Well, that's not happening because then you'd be Libya, right? So they can't, this is their existence. This is an ancient civilization. They're not going anywhere. And so, like, who's going to mediate a ceasefire when America and Israel are the ones that started it? And all these Gulf countries, like, oh, no, you're getting it too. We're going to ask the Chinese. And I'm like, who? Why? Let Israel burn. No one's going to step in and be like, oh, no, knock it off. Don't burn Tel Aviv. Nobody. America can't because they're a belligerent now. So just make it rain. Israel has, like, I mean, what they're going to have to take out all the ballistic missiles. Otherwise, they're going to land on them. And I don't think they can unless they use a nuke, which, maybe. But I don't think that's realistic. This ends with Israel destroyed. They had 20 years of prep. And I don't think Trump expected it. He had 2 carriers. That's it. And his refuelers or whatever. He was preparing, but he wasn't completely ready. And in the middle of negotiations in classic Israel style, even though they said, okay, we'll turn over our entire stockpile of enriched uranium, they said, we'll do that. Fine. And Israel's like, oh no, we're not going to allow peace. So they just went and preempted it. And it didn't work very well.
Do you think Trump's secretly loving it? Because last night he was like, they didn't hit us as hard as we expected. They got in. Iran's come in quite mild. We're prepared for a lot worse. This is nothing. They barely touched us. I'm thinking, are you stupid? Why are you making those statements? And I thought maybe he wants them to destroy those. That's his job, as Simon says, to get them to destroy those Middle East bases. I actually don't know who's on what side here at the moment.
No, he
We're all
didn't
on the
want to
same
lose
side.
that. He did not want to lose those. Think of this too, like a huge bargaining chip of like what petrodollars are spent on is all this military garbage, right? And then they put them there to surround Israel's enemies. That's why they are where they are, so that they could do what they're doing now, attacking Iran. And these bases just got kerschmacked. There's too many things to defend. The line's too long. And of course, everyone knew they're going to pack it all around Israel, which left the rest, like Kuwait was totally vulnerable and there was nothing there to stop it. And Saudi Arabia, way too long. You can't defend that with Patriots or like cruise missiles can hit that all day. They can blow up those northern oil fields. I think the only thing keeping them at a measured response is China going, no, don't do that. We need to buy that when the war's over. That's it. There's no other reason.
That degree, so this is what we're watching right now, and it's on fire. A drone crashed in directly into an American base in Kuwait. There are reports of huge missile strikes on the American base in Qatar. We're seeing that oil, I know that you didn't want to hear that, but oil is up to a $200 barrel per routers. And they are targeting the US military base in the UAE. So that's what we're watching today, right now. There was a huge attack
Oh,
on
that's
Tehran.
fine. I bought oil futures before all this went down
So
because that was guaranteed. I think a lot of people sold their Bitcoin and bought oil because they're like, well, that's going to go out the roof.
yeah, for
The
sure.
trade no one's talking about is also gold and silver and commodities in general.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't have that much money to play with. I just figured I can
Oil,
make a little bit more.
Yeah, oil is safer, yeah.
It was a sure bet. It was like, oh, they close it. Yeah, it's going up.
Brian, it's funny you mentioned not being able to afford a house. Um, isn't it kind of crazy that these principled politicians that fight over the continuing resolution and the budget reconciliation shut down the government every year? None of them are saying, what about the cost of this war? How much do you think this war is going to cost? And why do you think no one's coming out? All these budget hawks, deficit hawks aren't coming out against it.
It's billions, and it's hard to depends. Like, are you adding the cost of the the increase on all commodities because of the increase of oil, which increases gasoline and plastic and da 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 da? Very hard to calculate, but even in the billions, they don't care. Like we need to bomb Iran, and Americans without health care will pay for it. It's just they don't care. You're not citizens, you're subjects. They don't work for you, they don't represent you. And it doesn't matter if it's Republican, Democrat, or whatever. They don't care. They serve the donor class, and the donor class is a bunch of child raping perverts. I
Ryan,
literally put these lists out like 8 or 9 years ago, and now everyone's finding, oh, look, Leon Black, Les Wexner, Glenn Dubin. I'm like, yeah, I've been saying this.
Ryan, you're gonna
I
love
did a
this one.
top 10 on Myron's show. I'm like, here's the top 10 worst people on Epstein. Like, yeah, this is what happens when you get censored.
So Ryan, you're gonna love this. One of the places that was just hit is the DP World area in Abu Dhabi. So you called it Epstein Fury. Well, the Iranians have literally hit the guy on the Epstein list, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulim, DP World guy. His DP World in Abu Dhabi just got hit.
That's epic. I saw that Ahmadinejad got targeted. Like, what's the point? It's a retired politician. And it seems to be they're doing a little bit what Ukraine does. Like, they're doing meme-worthy bullshit that's not really strategically valuable. But hitting DP is funny. There's a lot of them, man. It wasn't just Epstein. It was the Khashoggis and stuff, too, with the rape yachts and they buy all these prostitutes from Eastern Europe and they pee on them. And it's like these guys would never, ever get laid without money. So they have to buy whores. It's just disgusting. The whole Dubai is whore island. It's debauchery. I don't like Dubai. I don't like Miami. I know a lot of people love these cities. I think they're shitholes. I don't like to be there. I don't want to be around them. I think they're fucking. That's why you have people so fucking stupid they can't name 5 countries. I'm like, yeah, because you're drugged out of your mind and you sell your vagina. Like, that's your life. I don't like it. I'm on team Unabomber with that. So yeah, screw them. These people financed ISIS. Okay. These Gulf Arab little perfume princes, that's who paid for head chopping lunatics that destroyed an ancient civilization. Priceless things out of Palmyra. They just wiped out history and murdered hundreds of thousands of people. And that money was coming from it. And the UAE is responsible for the civil war in Sudan, too. Where do you think 93% of the gold from Hamadi's forces goes to the UAE, to this little Epstein cabal? So let them burn. Because this is not a Muslim versus Jew or any of that. It doesn't. Some of the Muslims suck. Some of the Jews suck. It does. It's not like the teams aren't like that. It's Iran versus everybody, and all these little fiefdoms, especially the UAE and Qatar. Like, ugh, they are not Muslim. They drink, they buy whores. They're like the complete opposite of what they pretend to be. It's all image. And Dubai's just all image anyway. Like, you peel back one layer and you'll see the shit underneath everything. It's just like, oh, look at this fancy thing. Like, yeah, that's built like Tinker Toys from Indian slave labor. It's just a shitty place, and I don't care if the whole thing burns.
Yeah. Guys, just want to thank Coops for the super chat. This was a while ago. And it says, please go get some sleep, Sully. Your great co-host will keep us updated, worried about your health. Thank you for worrying about my health. This is why my chat is the best.
Which
Look at
co-host?
that. They care about the feels.
Beatrix, he said the right thing. Great co-hosts.
No, no.
No, but listen, Simon, if he's saying that Suleiman can sleep and the great co-host is going to run this race, I think you're talking about you. Because, like, literally, Chick here is, like, ready to have a nap as well. I'm only
Yeah, but
joking.
He said,
last time he slept, there was like a regime change, and we ended up with no co-hosts, and we were like,
Well, what's
Last
going on with your
night,
health?
I'm so glad.
Was it because
Like, literally, right? Like, Simon and Joa saved the day. Freaking these chicks, and not you, Casey, but Dee Dee, I messaged her earlier on as well saying, oh my God, I need help. So she didn't come up, neither did Maze. Maze was on another space. And I was like, I can't even see mic requests. And then Simon came up, and then Joa came up, and then I glitched out, and then there was no co-host. And they were just like, oh, okay, there's no co-host. What should we do? We can't bring anybody up. We'll just make use of the panel we've got. Oh, you know what? I had to get Sulaiman's H1B guy to get up and fix it, which he kindly did. So, yeah, Simon, it was fun last
H1B
night.
guy.
But, you know, we kept it going.
I think what happened was I sent him
Yeah.
a short video of Nara, Japan, and he got homesick. That's what happened.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you can't beat it, especially the one you sent me. That was flipping so good. I sent it to my friend who loves Japan as well, and he was like, "Where is it?" And then I had to tell him because he knows he's like, it could be a few different places.
Well, it's Nara. That's where I am. So it's beautiful. Like it's cool because like the mid and top of the mountain have snow and the bottom doesn't. It's one of those situations. It's very aesthetic.
Are there more super chats, Sully?
And one of the most beautiful
The non-praising you, the non-praising
and one of the most
you.
Hey, he
beautiful
said he
places
sent
in
it
the
a
world.
while ago. Maybe when I was co-host, he sent it. He was talking about me. Who knows? Who knows?
What were you saying, Simon?
I was saying one of the most beautiful places in the world, with speaking of mountains and stuff, that hopefully we're going to all be able to visit, is Iran.
That's right. I want to visit. Of that kind of person is Patrick Starr David. I can't stand the way he talks.
Shinbet David.
I can't stand how far up Israel's ass he is, and that's what it's like listening to these people.
Shinbet David. He's a numbers guy, though.
Shinbet David, yeah. There you go. I call him Star David. That works.
It's time for him to go back to Iran now. He got what he wanted.
Because they're well, he ought to just go live in Israel.
Yeah, that's his true home. I
No,
do
but
think he's
his
paid by
real
them.
home. He needs to go like live in someone else's living room. He can be like a real Israeli and steal a house. Maybe bulldoze a kid.
He's a numbers guy.
honestly, I was kind of referencing him when I was asking you the question, because this guy left Iran when he was like 8 years old, and he pretends like he got kicked out of his homeland for 40 years, and the image he puts out, the impression he gives off is like,
He's like, I'm a businessman. It's like, you sold a life insurance scheme, you fucking liar. Like, he's like some scamway artist. He reminds me of the dude that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The only thing that he made money on was selling books about making money. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Now he's in debt. Fucking idiot.
that is an asset.
You could tell that whole book was made up to, well, my rich dad, but like it's the dumbest, the worst economic book ever made. And it's just, but It's a charlatan thing to sell. He has a Japanese name, but he's not Japanese, really. They like to steal Japanese names, like Satoshi. That's not for the Bitcoin. That's not who that is. He's a Jew that lives in Colorado, but he used a Japanese name so people would trust him.
Saying your hand up, or is that a glitch? Been up for a
Yeah,
while.
damn, I forgot what I was gonna say, honestly. It'll get back to me, sorry.
Do you see how excited these morons got when they killed Khomeini? It's like that's the bench is deep. Killing him, oh, you made a martyr out of him, and he doesn't change anything militarily at all. It's just something to say, oh, heck, we killed a famous person, basically. It doesn't matter. The missiles are still coming. You're still on fire. Iran can take more hits because a lot of their best things are under mountains, where everything in Israel, everything in Qatar is all on the surface. And it's getting smacked. They're getting starched. But this isn't lopsided. I mean, Iran, a lot of the death toll is higher on Iran's side and more of their property has been destroyed, but it's all replaceable stuff. Oh, you blew up trucks, you blew up missile launcher, whatever. That's easily replaced.
But what did
Whereas
they
America
destroy?
lost $1 billion radar. $1 billion. You can't just go make another one. That's dead. That's out. That's the kind of things they're losing. And these interceptors, the same thing's going to happen as happened in June. They're going to run low. And then what? There won't be a timeout this time. Iran's going to continue. And that's when, and you asked this earlier, that's when Hezbollah is going to release the drones. Because then you can wipe it all out. And this is what they deserve. Nothing makes me happier than watching Israel burn. Normally, I hate war, and I'm always like, there's got to be a better way to figure this out. It's so stupid to fling missiles at each other. But when you're dealing with irrational religious fanatics that thinks God gave them property and that they can just murder kids, that whole gene pool just needs to be wiped off the face of the planet.
Hey, Ryan, I think you're right about Hezbollah holding off until the right time, and I think you nailed when I think that when that time might be.
Yeah, it just makes sense, because if you look at what they have, it's most effective once Iran has depleted the interceptors. Then,
Right.
Here's the thing about and I said this on Sully's show. It's they got a lot of gear actually from the old Syrian army as that was collapsing. They pushed it into Lebanon and Hezbollah grabbed it. And they got a lot of components to where they don't have to ship things from Iran to Hezbollah. They can build drones themselves. And they realized how valuable drones were in the first war. Everyone underestimated them. They underestimated them. The Israelis, everybody was like, wow, they didn't know how effective the drones were going to be. Same thing happened with Russia and Ukraine. They were both shocked how effective drones are in that war. And they've just been making drones. And when those interceptors are low, they're gonna flood, kiss Haifa goodbye, like all that. It's coming. And I asked, anyone else can answer this too, like what's the off ramp here with America, joining in the way they have? Who could negotiate a ceasefire? Who could talk to all these parties?
And just on that, right,
we have
there
real
was a
estate.
report on that. There was a report from Israeli media. Obviously, it could be fake news, but from Yehudith, who claimed that the Americans basically reached out to the Italians to ask the Iranians for a ceasefire, and the Iranians rejected it.
Yeah, so there's that kind of makes my point for me. So if you're asking Italy, okay, Yeah, right. Italy's like they love this. They're the access point in the Mediterranean. But if that's your closest uh friend of Iran? Serious?
They're a little brown. I mean,
Okay.
they're a little brown.
Okay,
Well,
we have to go
it's
say
most likely to be Amman, right? Because that's where the negotiations were happening.
I'm just making fun of Italy. I mean, but I don't think they can broker. You need a big boy like the Chinese or something. You need but they're not gonna.
But remember, like this is leading up to the Trump visit to Xi Jinping in April. So, like, I think they're already talking.
yeah, elaborate.
Let's
I
hope
think you were
there's some back channels open. I would assume they should be. And let's not forget Pakistan and Afghanistan are fighting too. This is just too much news, like I said, too much going on everywhere.
What do you make of
Yeah,
this?
it does. It does feel like that moment when the British Empire was just too complicated that they just couldn't handle anything. Like there was just too much going on.
What do you make of these rumors that
Yeah.
all these extremist groups are joining Israel? Like the Taliban, they said that they're supporting them. They said Al Qaeda is supporting Israel. Like it's just a
Al
laundry.
Qaeda supports Israel, but like, what are they going to do? There's not going to be a ground invasion of Iran. That's the absolute suicide. And that's all they really have. Like, Al Qaeda doesn't have an air force or a navy. They're basically terrorists with small arms and some mortar fire, blah, blah, blah. They're very effective at, urban warfare because they just kill civilians. So that's fine. But that isn't going to work. What are you going to march over from Syria? They won't get through Iraq. Uh, we saw the Peshmerga incident. What was it, October 17th, 2017? As soon as actually it was Trump, he pulled out of Iraq. He withdrew American air support, and within 36 hours, Iraq had pushed all of Al Qaeda out of Mosul and into Syria. 3 days. That's all it took. And that's how fast these rats could drop if they didn't have dad protecting them. But it's funny, like, all the bullshit these like Wahhabi Sunnis were talking about Assad and all that, like, oh, they don't stand up to Israel. Like, wait till we're in charge. Okay, you're in charge. Giuliani's the head of the government. Al Qaeda has the whole. What are you doing? Oh, first day you allowed Israel to annex Mount Hermon and take territory and blow up your surplus weapons. Good job. Now you're a little fiefdom. I mean, you and the Kurds can sit there and kill each other. So stupid. And even with the sanctions lifted, I mean, Syria had brutal sanctions. Now they don't. And their economy's even worse because you have a bunch of low IQ, inbred, Salafist Wahhabi shitheads that don't know anything, and there's corruption on every level, and you have to grease a palm. And this is exactly how they're getting weapons to Hezbollah. You just pay the guy, and they let you through. I mean, everything is about money, because that's all they really worship is money. They get money, they spend it on horse. That's their life.
Such a good point. People seem to lose track because of the halo effect, I think, of having money. People assume that people that are rich have positive, good nature and characteristics. But people seem to forget that these Gulf nations had nothing going for them. They were just trucal states, things like that, right? And they were fishing shrimp, things like that off. That's what they just to subsist, right? And then they strike oil, and all of a sudden, these towel heads, like goat fuckers, are royalty. All of a sudden, when you call them his royal highness, and it's just absolute nonsense. They haven't lifted a finger to do any real work their entire lives. They were born on a trust fund.
Some of these people can't even read. They're illiterate.
And they were educated in the US
I'm not
too.
sure Erdogan can read either in Turkey. Like, the jury's out on
He's
that.
catching strays. Why are you attacking him?
No,
I'm just saying, some of these, when you bang your cousin, the outcome is ISIS.
I think I would like to leave
And
Iran.
they gather diaspora from all over the place, and they rape. They're just disgusting. Terrorists took over Syria and Libya. That's what happened, and the U.S. and Europe backed it up.
Yep.
Giuliani was shaking hands with Donald Trump in the White House. This is al-Baghdadi's protege, and Trump, when he was in Iraq, he's a terrorist. When he was in Syria, he's not. He was praising himself for getting rid of al-Baghdadi, but his protege is okay because he did what Israel wanted.
Same with Maduro, right? and this and Iran's different
Oh,
from
Maduro, I don't like Maduro, but he's not a narco-terrorist or any of that crap they said.
no, I'm saying he
You know
gets rid of the
that.
guy, and he thinks his mission accomplished because that it just pumps up his own brand, his image, prestige. He thinks like a
They just
chimp,
wanted
like
to
alpha
hand over the
male.
refineries to Paul Singer because he donates millions to Trump, and now he's making billions off of Venezuela's oil.
I think the difference that Iran has, but it's a similarity with Venezuela, is that uh, unlike ISIS, where they took out al-Baghdadi and it crippled and handicapped the organization, they can lose their top guy and he just gets replaced. Like it's not a a death blow like it is for that group, right? And he's just trying the same trick over and over again. But like Al Qaeda, I said this earlier. Al Qaeda, they kept. How many times did we see in the news? They took out the Al Qaeda number two. Every week they took out the number two of Al Qaeda.
Right.
Right? They just replaced them.
Yeah. Well, they weren't sincerely fighting Al Qaeda. They created Al Qaeda. Ask yourself this: who issued the fatwa to say not to get a nuclear bomb?
Khamenei, right?
Yeah, and they just killed him. So what's stopping him now from getting a nuclear bomb?
Actually, I had this question earlier.
I
Isn't
mean,
the
what's
fatwa
stopping
supposed to
them
be
is the
issued
fact that
based
they're
on
getting all their
a grounding
facilities
in
bombed.
religious doctrine? So then it should stay. Like technically, it should stay, right?
They're not going to spin one up in the middle of this war, but we're looking at the future. And it's also just the fact that two nuclear powers are attacking a non-nuclear power is going to make a lot of other nations nervous and race to get a bomb. There
Casey,
was
did you
no
want to
point
go?
in this. Iran's not a threat to the United States at all. He's not there to spread women's rights or democracy to Iran or anything like that. Iran's a threat to Israel. And that's because Israel's a threat to everyone around them. And Israel has attacked all of their neighbors. They've attacked them all. And they deserve to burn.
Well, Ryan, if you don't count the USS Liberty, they've never attacked the United States. But wait, there's a couple more, but don't worry about that.
Kennedy, 9/11,
Yeah, come on,
Liberty.
that's enough. That's enough. But Senator
Stuxnet.
Senator Kennedy, that's who I listen to. He made it clear on the floor that Iran is an existential threat. So that's what he said. So there you go.
That's even better, an existential threat. I don't think they know what that word means.
Is it okay if I
Ryan,
just
I
jump
wish.
in with breaking stuff that's going on right now really quickly,
Yeah, yeah.
guys, to just give a quick update? So Netanyahu was too scared, assuming, to go to Bet Shemesh, which is where the Israeli or the Iran missile hit. We have confirmation that it's over 10 people are dead. Some reports are saying 20. There were 20 that were at least missing. Those numbers are continuing to climb and they're going through the rubble. He did give a speech on top of the IDF building where he said that there were tough days ahead and he threatened significant bombing in Iran. That happened literally simultaneously with significant bombing that happened in Tehran, where I believe they attacked some residential buildings as well as a military base. Waiting for information on that. In addition, the Kuwait base, the U.S. military base in Kuwait, is under attack yet again, and it's on fire. It looks like. Let's see. Give me 1 second. There was one other thing I just wanted to say. Oh, apparently there were 4 B-2 bombers yesterday that were part of the attack against Iran yesterday. Think.
Hey,
Yeah, that took off from Jordan.
Brian, you should have been in the space yesterday. We went through that word existential because that's how Iran views it, but the average person has no idea. Iran's taking this very seriously.
It is an existential threat to them, but not to the United States.
Exactly. They have it backwards, bro. Backwards.
Always guilty of their own accusations.
Oh, and one other thing that was really important that I wanted to note in his speech, Netanyahu mentioned that he
Israelis looking
waited.
for bodies through the rubble is karma.
Correct. That he had been waiting for this attack against Iran for 40 years. So this has been a ploy of Israel to get to America for 40 years.
Wow.
Since 79, they wanted to do it.
The longest 2 weeks of our lives. 2
Oh,
weeks
man.
away. 2 weeks away.
If
Netanyahu
they
said this.
start hitting, well, Israel always hits residential areas. So, but if that continues and Iran says, okay, then we're going to do the same thing, who wins that war of attrition? Because look at the size of Israel, look at the size of Iran. If you just start bombing cities, Israel loses again.
What, Ryan, your best estimate, how many of those missiles are getting through? Yesterday, a third were getting through. I'd put it over half are getting through. So what do you think on that? If you could elaborate or talk on that, weigh in on it.
Oh, at least a third of the missiles got through, and then drones got through too. I think in the beginning, when they had fresh and they started and they knew it's coming, it may have been around a third, but it's probably over 40% now. And that's quickly going to be half. And it's just going to compound. And also once they light up the grid and they know where the defenses are, they know how better to adjust their shots. It could get close to half.
Yeah, and talk about China giving them update satellite imagery, linking, not even going to the GPS, even before that.
It's also Iran has these warheads that divide right before impact. And so the interceptor goes and hits where it was and hits the tubing it left behind. But then the warhead projects off and goes down at super speeds and just nails the target.
Exactly. Same technology like the MIRVs, the FBMs, SSB, and the SSB and MIRVs.
Yeah, it's like a MIRV, but just one warhead per. But it does detach like a MIRV. MIRV's more like a cluster bomb, but yeah, they're going through. So if they're saying a third, then it's more than a third. That's all we know. Like I think it's around 33%, but I think it's closer to 40. I think that's going to get closer to half as they run out. They hit Negev. They kept lying the last time in June. They kept saying, "Oh no, nothing. We intercepted 90%, and the rest we just let hit empty fields." Satellite images show otherwise. The whole thing was peppered. Looked like Swiss cheese. Looked like a Kuwaiti airbase. I know it's higher than 30% for the Gulfies.
Yes, sir.
They don't know what to do. They don't know what to. They're just going to burn. They have no response to that.
Bro, you should have been here, as Sully would say. We had a couple of men here. No, it's fine. I'm walking around. Yeah, I'm at the coffee shop. And then all of a sudden, no comment.
Yeah.
We had a guy this morning who came up and he was like, I'm sat outside the Burj Khalifa having my breakfast. And I'm like, what? Are you the only person in Dubai? Because I can't hear any noise. Do you remember him, Andrew? He was like, I'm sat outside Burj Khalifa. This is epic nonsense.
Calvin. It's crazy because I didn't expect to. I've heard him speak before. He knows Zerka and Myron in real life, I think, and it just like caught me off guard. It was a bad look for me.
What's up, y'all? Sorry, I was about to say something else. What's up, y'all? I just have to just kind of squeeze in because I'm going to get called away again, and I don't want to just sit here and not say a single thing. I don't know.
I thought you were jumping in to tell Brother Ivy you should be used to a bad look for you. Like, why were you surprised? Oh, no, sorry, Casey. Go and jump
I
in.
thought you were just going to say fuck Israel.
That was a good layup, and I totally missed that layup. Wow. So yeah. Good morning, everyone. Yes, it is still morning. Or we could stop, Ivy. Don't be like that. So I love. It's still morning here in the eastern coast of the U.S. And I have been listening to this space. I see Iran isn't playing. There was a strike to, what did you guys say, the aircraft carriers? I was listening to that. Did it hit yet, or do we know what's going? I guess we didn't get the update with that.
They're saying,
Casey, did it hit yet? How long is it taking?
I sound
She wants to
bad.
count down.
I gotta
Tell
be
her, Judy.
You and Simon want your updates. All right.
Yeah, it's like I have like a card. No, only because I love the way you guys explained it, right? That they don't have to, there doesn't need to be casualties, but they can hit strategic spots. Yes. So that's a good thing because we have no business being there. Right? Okay, so there's that. And I want to tell everybody, please retweet this space. If you are on the stream, hit that like button. Definitely follow Sulaiman on Twitter. Put your notifications on. Subscribe on YouTube. Put your notifications on there. Sulaiman and Beatrix and Simon today are killing it with this space. That interview with Sneeko was amazing. And this is where you're going to get the real news, up-to-date news. And there's so many, everybody has like an expertise. I just like I listen to Andrew. It's like Andrew knows how like this is gonna go, and they'll hit here and everything. People wargaming, speaks, giving the updates, and she knows like the diplomatic like rhetoric with how things should go. Beatrix is educating us with all of her knowledge and everything she knows. Simon always bringing the finances into it, and everybody on the panel just brings their own expertise and their own angle and with real thought, right? Even I don't agree with Mankos on a lot of things, but he's giving some thought on what he's saying. So this space is very important. I've always said that I'm grateful to God that I've been able to be, with you guys throughout this journey. I've learned so much in the last 2 years. I would have never thought I would be this person. I'm just like a completely different person. But anyway, and I'm happy for it.
Part of our little family from day one with Brother Hussein.
And now look at Brother Hussein is on the. I didn't even say Brother Hussein. What is up? He's on the phone.
Yeah, how you gonna play me like that, Casey?
I know, but because you're never here, and then it's just like I'm just so happy to see you.
Smash him, Casey. Smash him.
Never here. You're never ever here.
No, this is back-to-back days. I'm here.
I didn't see you yesterday. I did not see you yesterday. You wasn't here yesterday.
No, I was in the listeners, but I was on the space all day yesterday.
So people give up stuff for Lent. Brother Hussein gave up our spaces. It's only back because it's Lent.
All right. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that like I said, I'm listening to everything and learning and just in and out. And I've been talking to people here. It's good to talk to people who aren't so plugged in like us, because even though I spoke to a young man, and I'm almost done. I spoke to a young 22-year-old young man who is an American citizen who works here, born here as a young Caucasian man, and he's like, I'm not into politics, but he doesn't like what's going on right now with this war, and he does think about it. It does concern him. He knows prices are going to go up, and he's concerned because he has a family member that is in the Navy. So nobody, I haven't found the American yet who's like, yay, war. Only on Twitter. But yeah, so I just wanted to report that.
Thank you, Casey. I got a statement, Simon. This is interesting, right? Listen to this. German Chancellor Merz on Iran. Bear in mind, I've heard Netanyahu's in frigging Germany. He says, there will be a day after that. No, sorry. Let me read it again. There will be a day after. That day after must be a day of peace, freedom, democratic elections, and good neighborly relations throughout the entire region. At the present time, that is not foreseeable. We hope for it, but we are not certain. So I think the last bit you just added, but the first bit is quite profound because he's saying there will be a day after. That's going to be a day of peace, freedom, democratic elections, and good neighborly relations throughout the entire region. So I think he's on it like a car bonnet.
Okay, let's have elections in Ukraine.
Yeah, he's talking about the Middle East. We've got Ryan. I've got footage coming out of a Iranian strike hit deep into an underground shelter in Beit Shemesh near Jerusalem. So they're actually whacking these shelters as well, man.
Yeah, shelter collapsed. I said that when I first came on.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, one of the shelters collapsed. It was like 20 injured and 7 dead. All these statistics, that could climb. There's a lot of BS going around, so you gotta like triple verify. But I heard from someone in Israel that a shelter collapsed. There's someone else who's in a different shelter. He's been in there all day, and yeah.
Sorry, just
Their
really
air
quickly
raid
with
shelters
news.
aren't that deep. They're there. They work for Katyusha rockets from Hamas, and not too well for ballistic missiles.
Just really quickly with news, large plumes of smoke are rising from in Qatar following a drone attack. We believe that it was a base, but standing by on that. But it's happening right now as we speak.
Where's that, Didi?
In Qatar.
What is it? The U.S. base?
We think that it's a U.S. base in Qatar, but we're not 100% sure. Telegram's alight with it. Very, very significantly large plumes of smoke.
Yeah, that video that Sulaiman posted, guys, if you look on his page, he posted it about 45 minutes ago. I sent it to somebody in Qatar and they said, yeah, that's the base. But I'm just going on what I've heard directly. But Didi's right. We're just waiting for more confirmation.
Oh no,
and,
Beatrix, I'm sorry. This is a brand new one. So that was 45 minutes ago and they've just hit again as well. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Make no mistake.
So did we cover this?
They've shot down an MQ-9 and it's on film, so that's verified. That's one of those super expensive drones that the Americans have.
Yeah, CENTCOM is saying, I don't know how old this is, but somebody sent me this. CENTCOM is confirming that 3 U.S. service members were killed and 5 others seriously wounded in action as part of what's going on. And this is in Qatar, in Doha. CENTCOM have confirmed that. I don't know how old it is, but it must be quite new, right?
We announced it, I want to say about an hour on the space. Believe it or not, Beatrix, what I'm finding, and this is, I think, an attestament to exactly what we have going on. I'm finding that Israeli Telegram knows quicker than we do, right? They're actually releasing information before Americans. Like, for example, before the CENTCOM notification came out, I had said we can't confirm it, but I'm seeing it, and this looks very accurate. 3 American soldiers have died, and 5 American soldiers are critically injured. And I'm not sure that exactly where it happened. I don't think I saw that. But yeah, I think that number is going to grow. I am seeing also and hearing rumblings, the Kuwait base that was struck today may have had an American soldier as a casualty on there as well. I've confirmed it through 2 Telegram sources, but not 3. And that's usually when I say, okay, without a doubt, this happened.
Yeah, every time you get these reports, a perfect case example. I was involved in a terrorist attack hit the naval base. I was stationed. I was 20 minutes behind it. I would have been one of the casualties. They kept saying 2 dead, a couple wounded. Well, it was 10 dead plus 20 some wounded. You don't ever really know the real number, but always go up.
They casualty launder as well. Like they'll have on-base accidents and veteran suicides. Not that that's not a real thing, but some of that is just people who got killed by Hamas, and they're like, "Oh no, they killed themselves." It's casualty laundering.
Great point. Yeah, we never hear those numbers.
There were a lot that died in southern Lebanon. They didn't want to admit. It's like, well, you guys pulled out.
Yeah,
Why?
Ryan, I still, if the Lord, I would love to have that interview with you sometime about my lovely 9 months there in Beirut, Lebanon. Oh, my lovely 9 months there.
We'll do it. Let me get back to Korea.
Yeah. All right. No, but seriously, because there's things that well, you know what I'm talking about. I already sent you those DMs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like we'll do that. I got a bunch of interviews to do when I get home, but you're on my list for sure. I still have Epstein stuff to do. I have a lot of news on that, but like, I'm just gonna sit on it because I'm not gonna compete with the Iran war. And this is Epstein's not time sensitive; it can wait. Okay, so.
How close do you really put the Epstein list? I'm not taking anything away from that, but to Trump being coerced into this.
He gets enough money from AIPAC and Adelson and Singer and all to do it anyway. That's every American president. It's like almost all of Congress. They all do. They all love Israel. Some of them, it's ideological, like the Huckabees. He's like holy roller, so-called Christians. I'm going to say so-called because...
Yes, please. Please say so-called.
Don't even call them Judeo-Christians. Just call them Jews.
No.
They're just Jews.
Yeah. Don't even use the J Christian word.
They're just Jewish wannabes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
That's right. They want to be Jews.
I want to be you, man. Come on.
It's like Steve Bannon is like, I'll just drop the Christian from Christian Zionist. Like, there you go. Accurate. You're just a Zionist. There you go. But for Trump, it's not ideological. He's not really religious. It's I don't think he's intelligent enough to have a theology. Really, he's just like Trump worships himself.
Well, yeah, that's his religion.
I mean, he might have some tacit belief in God as created stuff and all, but I don't think he studies it or anything. For him, it's money. Like, he's getting money. They're the donors. They pay for everything. So he let them do all his appointees to his cabinet and all. And that's why you have Hegseth and Huckabee and Rubio and all these hardcore Judeos. Judeo-ass lickers, whatever. I don't even want to call them Christians. Ted Cruz and stuff, and that guy's straight as a boomerang. So is Lindsey Graham.
Leave Lindsey Graham alone. Leave him alone. He likes Tel Aviv. Okay, that's his private life. Leave him out of this.
Sure. Yeah, Lindsey Graham's
Tel Aviv.
He'll be in Tel Aviv after he's done shaving his legs.
He's heartbroken. Some of his friends are no longer with us.
Yeah, McCain. I made a holiday out of his death every 25th. He was like the pale horse of the apocalypse. Every place he visited got hit with terrorists. A friend of mine broke that story of John McCain shaking hands with Haral al-Sham terrorists in Syria. He's like, I know these people. These are good people. Like, shut up, McCain.
I remember that.
It was McCain and Graham that went to Ukraine saying, and Lindsey Graham in his classic Southern lisp, 2017 will be the war of offense. You guys need some lotion? Guys, straight as a rainbow.
And McCain,
I don't know why Lindsey doesn't just come out of the closet.
Come on.
Nobody would be surprised.
Yeah, but come on. It's not that easy, Ryan. It might affect his base because you got a conservative Christian base there.
That's actually crazy that he has a conservative Christian base.
He does, Adam.
The weirdest thing is, a lot of these preachers are gay. It's choir boys are what they do.
No, listen, I'm counseling a young man who was sodomized repeatedly in his, quote, Christian church. And it's horrific. I was like, what the... All right, sorry. We'll get back on track. Sorry.
Well, it's in it, it overlaps because that's the compromise. When you can get people like that, either someone in power compromise or the reverse, you get someone compromised into power. Either way works. And you end up with this type of situation we're in. And we have such a, at minimal, amoral, I'd argue immoral, debaucherous society that's obsessed with sex, that it's this weird combination of they're obsessed with and ashamed of this thing. So it's the perfect blackmail. They all engage in it, even though they know it's career-ending, life-ruining type of thing if they get caught. But they need it. And it's not just like regular adultery and affairs. Not that that's okay, but it's like children and sometimes animals if you live in England. There's just no line they won't cross. I'm referring to the story of the MP caught with dogs. Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of dog stories in the UK. We got lots of that.
There's a BBC reporter that had him that raped him to death.
Yeah, with he was with David Attenborough, which is crazy. He was like a zoologist, like an animal guy for the BBC.
And what was the other guy? Sean, was it Morton or Morgan? I think it's Morton. He was looking at bestiality porn, dogs with 10-year-olds, and it was his third time getting caught. And buddies with Peter Mandelson, a gay Jew that was friends with Epstein. It's just a nice little club. Peter Mandelson's a homosexual, and he's Jewish, and he's Epstein's friend.
I'd also
and he sold state secrets.
Right. Also goes
Holy
into
cow.
that
So
blood.
I'm sorry, guys. We're seeing now satellite imagery of what's gone on in Dubai. Anybody that comes up and tries to gaslight this space is a complete foreign agent because I'm watching it. It's crisp. It's totally burned.
Nice.
And you know where it is, Brian? Right off the coast, or right next to what's that island? The man-made island that looks like the palm tree. It's right there.
Palm.
I think the purpose was to circumvent the strait. That's done. These bases were vulnerable, and I remember Larry Johnson and we did a show on it. Like, oh yeah, those bases are toast. They're too close, and there is no current defense to ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, that for any country, not even the United States. There's just nothing that can stop it at that range. So those bases are done. They're obsolete.
What are you talking about? They shoot down those missiles all the time.
Not from that range. You can shoot them down if you have to fire over Iraq and Jordan, like into Israel. But if they're right next to Iran and they shoot them, this is going to go through. I mean, you can block a couple, and they'll just fire more than that. Oh, you can block 2, fine, we'll fire 10. It's that kind of situation. And those low altitude shots from cruise missiles, it's not defendable.
Well, we have the proof. We have the evidence. I mean, we've got 48 hours of evidence.
Of what? A bunch of bases on fire? Yeah, that's the evidence of it not working.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along.
Yeah, it's
actually funny that
here's
you guys
the
are
evidence.
talking about
We
that.
have stuff that can block that, but we just decided to get hit anyway.
The base is destroyed now.
No, it just means it's on fire. It will get destroyed when it gets destroyed. You have to hit it more than they're spreading it out over 27 targets. I think the Kuwaiti airport may be destroyed, actually. I don't know the extent of the damage on the different bases because there's so much BS going around. It's something I'm going to sit down when I'm not on the stream and figure out how much damage. It appears Kuwait and Dubai have gotten it pretty bad. Bahrain's been hit a bunch, but we don't know what all. some things make a lot of smoke and fire, but you don't know how much of the base is still functional. Yeah, it is still a military base. Thing is, they're vulnerable. And the things that are very vulnerable is infrastructure like oil rigs and oil fields. And obviously those are highly flammable too. So once they get tagged, that's sayonara for that. Water treatment facilities, power plants, all those things could be in play. Right now they're hitting those bases though. And what they want to do is disrupt the docks and the port, the runways. They like to blow up the hangars. Planes can move, and so can boats. But the stagnant targets are sitting ducks. Same thing, though. I mean, they can blow up Iran's as well, and they are.
So Trump apparently just had a conversation with Fox. I'm waiting on the video, but I'm seeing it on Telegram. And this is a quote. I don't care about, hold on. I'm not worried about the effects of the military operation against Iran on the Strait of Hormuz and oil prices. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
because, well,
what?
America only imports like 12% of its oil from overseas. It gets the majority from Canada, Mexico,
That's
and
Europe. That's
itself.
true. Yeah, true.
Europe
They'll
is
hold their
screwed.
own stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think America, they're like, let's see, our economic rivals in Europe and Asia are going to have a hard time. Iran is facing an existential threat. And the Israelis will get bombed, but every single American city will still be intact. All the infrastructure will still be there. Hey, you'll lose a few sailors. It's a price he's willing to pay because it's not his sons.
Yeah, true. Just
I
want to
don't see
welcome.
Baron
Yeah.
Trump over
Just what?
there.
Exactly, Ryan. Just want to welcome Dan Blazarian onto the space. Dan, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Hey, brother, I'm good. I'm just here to listen to Ryan, so I'm getting my breakfast ready and stuff. Don't mind me. I just want to come on to get more people in the space. So
Appreciate it. Well, Ryan's been giving some great analysis. Ryan, do you want
Dan,
to?
you should have been here shooting bears.
I know that might be one of my life's regrets, but I got a paintball tournament to go to.
That's pretty fun too. It's not as fun as shooting a bear though.
Yeah, but please tell me more about the Iranian situation. I want to hear your thoughts, Ryan.
Well, it's kind of going as predicted. The Gulf area bases, which were the most vulnerable, the closest range, which means they don't have to. They have to use long range attacks on Israel. They can use all of their arsenal on Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait, and they seemingly have been decimating those. Iran's been taking it on the chin too, but it's a large country with 90 million people, so they can win that war of attrition. America owns the sea, they own the air, but death tolls are starting to come in. 3 Americans died, confirmed by CENTCOM, from ballistic missiles. Another one may have died. We wait and get reports and wait till they're verified. So all that's been going on. 7 Israelis just got killed, so that's up to like 20 now. A shelter collapse apparently in Jerusalem, which is hilarious. Strait of Hormuz is closed. Oil's up 12%. It may have gone up higher than that. That's the last time I looked at it, because that's a large part of the global flow. It doesn't really affect the United States that much, but it will affect pretty much everyone else. And they have not been able to prevent or take out Iran's ballistic missile offense. And they're not really after a nuclear program. That was just a pretext. So what they're doing is they're doing high-profile assassinations, kind of like because it looks good on memes. But strategically, it's not very effective. Like they killed Ahmadinejad, apparently, retired politician. So what? Whatever. All right. This is the guy they kept saying was a Holocaust denier who wanted to wipe Israel off the map. So none of that's what he said. Whatever. Iran is Sully was saying earlier, America went to the Italians to try and get them to negotiate. They're already trying to negotiate on day 2. So it is not going well for Operation Epstein Fury, which is what I'm calling it. Epic Fury. Epstein Fury is what it is.
And to add to
And if
that,
you're on the Telegram, you're going to see it's like, boom, Kuwait airport hit, boom, Qatar hit, boom, Bahrain hit, and Israel too. The damage on Israel will increase as the war continues, as they get thinner and thinner supplies of interceptors. And I think once they're low enough, that's when Hezbollah will release the drones.
Also, the Houthis. Has anyone gotten, Ryan, input or getting in anything coming in heavy from the Houthis other than a few isolated strikes?
Isolated strikes is all they can do. But I mean, the main firepower here is Iran, without a doubt. Like, you have the Houthi, you have some Shia militia in Iraq, and you have Hezbollah. I think Hezbollah is taking orders, so they'll wait. The main firepower it's all Iran. And once Jordan shot itself on accident, it looks like. But other than that, it's mostly been ballistic missiles from Iran, which is what we were expecting, and drones. But they have only used the solid fuel once, and it was on Israel, and it connected and it killed. So more of those, please.
Well, Sully had Colonel Davis on here, Daniel Davis, and Daniel was saying, hey, you know, if it would have been me, I would have hit really hard the first strike, referring to Iran. And Sulaiman has a good point. Well, I understand he's the military expert, but still, I think Iran personally is playing this right. They did what they needed to do, but they still have so much more up their sleeve. And I believe they're really still have so much more to show.
We take out the immediate threats and the things around you that are less defended, and that you can completely wipe out. It's a base. You can do that. And they're doing that. You got to take out places where they can do refueling, where they can land. So air bases, docks, all that. You take those out. But Israel's the main enemy. This entire war started because of them. It doesn't end until Israel has enough pain. As far as fighting the U.S. Navy, it's a lost cause. Like, just focus on hitting the soft targets and making Israel burn. That's how they win this war.
Yeah, and as long as the U.S. Navy doesn't fight Iranian Navy, as long as they don't get into that knife fight, dog fight with them, they back off. I think the U.S. Navy will be smart, play it smart. But if they get into that Persian Gulf, that would be the worst, horrific mistake they could ever make.
You don't want to bottleneck your large ships where there's a bunch of water mines and things, like you're in the Admiral Yi situation. He being the one that forced them to get bottlenecked. Now they'll sit out there, they'll do their electronic warfare and just serve as an almost unsinkable aircraft carrier so that they can do bombing raids on Iran. But I'm not impressed with what they're hitting. And it's very hard to drill through a mountain. Like, you can name all the different, look, we have F-35, F-22, F-18, da-da-da-da. Like, okay, how many of them have bunker busters? Yeah, exactly. It's not that effective. You can blow up a lot of stuff. You can blow up a grade school for girls, which they did. Killed at least 86 people. They're good at doing that. Not so impressed with Iran doesn't like, oh, look, we're going to put all our ballistic missiles in a base right next to each other. No, they're dug in all over the place. They've drilled into sides of mountains. They've been prepping this for decades, and it shows. The firepower is there. It's a large country, and it's covered in mountains. There's so many places to pop in and out of and hide. I think this strategy is going well. Take out the immediate threats around you. Make the Gulf Arabs pay. They're going to pay economically. Every day that strait is closed, oil goes up and up. That's going to make the pressure come. East Asia won't put up with that for too long. But look, who started the war? Israel. The concessions will have to be on them. And no one deserves it more. I wouldn't care. Like, they need to make Israel look like the Sahara Desert. It won't, but they need to get hit. And since they bombed the Red Crescent in Iran, I wouldn't shed a tear if they hit residential areas in Israel. Blow up a settlement.
Well, I had a nurse, an IDF. She's an IDF nurse. Day 2 of the 12-day war, or day 3 of the 12-day war. She DM'd me and was like freaking out, and like, oh, pray, it's really getting real. And I said, sorry with loss of life, but honestly, what about Gaza? What about those tens of thousands of Palestinians, children, and innocent lives? I mean, do you realize what's going on here? And I said that, and of course she blocked, left, whatever, but they just don't see it. It's only about them.
No, it's always about themselves. It's the most neurotic people in the world. They don't want to kill civilians in Iran only because then Iran will kill civilians in Israel and they could die. But in Gaza, they felt like, well, we can kill them and they can't reach us, so kill them all. Kill Amalek. They were starving the children. They're laughing about it.
Yeah, it's Amalek. And Adam was starting on that Purim thing. That is a very prophetic, ironic connection.
It is Purim right now.
You know, bro.
It's Purim,
yeah.
You
know, bro.
Hey guys,
I know.
is it okay if I just jump in really
Shabbat
quickly with
shalom,
some?
yo.
Oh, good. Let me just jump in with a little bit of breaking news. There's renewed explosions at the U.S. bases in Qatar. An Israeli has now been confirmed dead from strikes yesterday. He fell down the stairs on his way to shelters in Ramat Gan, Tel Aviv. President Trump, in his speech with Fox News, said, and this is a quote, "They want to talk, and I have agreed to talk, so I will be talking to them." I guess there's going to be a lot of talking there.
Let's talk. Stop it.
Yes, seriously. There's
They
some
should say
pretty
the
serious.
enrichment just got 10% higher and Israel's going to pay for it.
There's some serious footage coming out of the hits in Manama, Bahrain, as well. In addition, we're seeing some images coming out. I believe they're moving, and I think that this is what they're after. They're moving the Mossad operatives that were in Iran. They're moving them, and I think that they're going to be a target, right? I think that Israel is watching that closely because I'm seeing it all over their Israeli Telegram, and I think that they're, monitoring that closely to see where they go, and I believe they'll try to get them.
Yeah, well, get them.
The anti-Semitic stares.
I've been posting. If you're anti-Semitic, you're anti. And by the way, I'm bothers me. I see a lot of anti-Semites in the space, and it bothers me. But I put a post in there. You're anti-Semitic if you don't get in that box. You get in that box, boy. You go do your duty and die for Israel. I mean, America. I've been told by close, acquaintances. First, I'm not even American. First, it was I'm an Hamas sympathizer, and that didn't do the job. So now I'm a anti-American. I had a good old boy down in North Carolina tell me I needed my ass kicked and thrown out of my country because this ain't my country. I'll leave it there. That's what we're dealing with. The MAGA.
These people
Czar.
aren't Semites. There's a Semitic language that they invented, I guess,
You're speaking of you're the devil. Jesus is laughing. You call your father Abraham? No, let's make this very clear, y'all. Your daddy be Satan. And I'm sorry, that's anti-Semitic. Let me reword that. I can't. I got to quote the word of God here. Sorry, I can't reword that.
He's talking to the Pharisees who were trying to kill him and eventually did.
You want to read my study on what the Bible has to say about the Jews? Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. Killed Jesus. Oh, we can't say that. Murdered, killed, crucified.
What are we talking about, guys? I thought we're talking about the Iran war.
The ideological
Sorry, give me 1
connection
second. Can we
here
just get
that's driving him.
Brother Ivy? Can you just give some breaking news or something?
D, on that one, when D gave us last update, what we were doing here, real quick, Beatrice, is the ideological power that's driving this base here, that's supporting this insanity and this genocide. It's an ideological, and even we've been talking about that. It's really ideologically driven, and because there's no other explanation for it. That's all I'm saying, Beatrice. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that, but.
Jeremiah called him the lying scribes.
But Ryan, wouldn't you call this now sort of there's two big stories here, because that ideological fairy dust seems like it's evaporating. It seems like billions of us around the world are saying, well, these people are just lunatics. There's nothing, Adam, Andrew, you were saying that about, Ryan's idea of them being trans Semites. They use language and they invert the meaning of language in the way criminals change disguises. The language game that they're playing, we're supposed to be called anti-Semites because we don't want the mass extermination of Semites, because that's what we're talking about here. The most anti-Semitic country in the world is Israel. So wouldn't you say, Ryan, I feel like the most interesting, or the second biggest interesting thing in regards to this tragedy, is the fact that we're all just watching. It's like we're all sitting on the same subway train, and we all realize in polite conversation that one of us is a lunatic. And by just the mere exchange of glances, we're all realizing, wait a second now, these Jewish supremacists are absolutely batshit crazy. This is a lunatic state. And I don't think this isn't 1980 or 2000 anymore. I think the whole world is saying there is no legitimacy to this. We're just enduring lunatics. What do you think about that?
It's like if you saw a blonde guy on a train stabbing someone over and over again, and you yell at him to stop, and he's like, "You just hate people with blonde hair." It's like, no, I hate that you're stabbing somebody to death.
Yeah,
what they do with saying anti-Semitism is they're trying to pretend like it's some biological thing, because in their mind, they're a race, they're a bloodline of Jacob. Like, I reject all that, but they're acting like it's some sort of prejudice towards an ethnic group or a prejudice towards a race of people, and it's not a race. And it's not an ethnic group. It's an ideology based off of theology. And it's a way of behaving. And if you're going to say you're the self-proclaimed chosen race of God, who's a real estate agent that granted you other people's land, and then you go and murder them and steal it, the reason that people don't like you is because of what you did, not because of where you were born or where you moved from this spot to that. That doesn't matter. It's how you behave that matters. And that's something they don't understand. It's like, oh no, well, they're just anti-Semite. They're just irrationally Jew hater. Da, da, da. Like, no, you annex people's land. That is wrong. Israelis, you did it. You're squatting on land that you took by force. You're still annexing territory in the West Bank. This isn't like ancient history. This is still going on, and it's ideologically driven. And the whole reason they need war with Iran is Iran propped up the resistance so that they couldn't go into Lebanon and continue to annex more land and ethnically cleanse their neighbors. That's what this is about. You have a bunch of lunatics, some of them from Eastern Europe, some of them from the Levant. Doesn't really matter. It's how they behave. That's the problem. And they behave a certain way because they have a magic book that tells them they're allowed to kill people.
Getting
I
on that,
reject it.
Ryan. Just real quick, I have a question for you. I'm seeing it very much on the chatter of Telegram that, and I think Trump is kind of propping this up. It's a lot of his news networks that are saying this, that Saudi Arabia is going to enter into the fight. What, if anything, right? Do they have that's different or greater than the American fight that's already in this? Like, I think that that's such a joke, and I'm wondering why they're like continuously pushing this.
Dee, I was just going to ask Ryan that. I've seen it, CNN's reporting it. So thanks for that news. And I was going to come in and say, have you seen this anywhere? CNN is saying Saudi Crown Prince allows Saudi army to respond to Iranian attacks.
Yeah, fine. It's just Saudi Arabia, whatever. They couldn't defeat Yemen, and they're right next to them.
But do they
I
have any
think
capabilities?
I
Like,
think
did apologies.
well, I think Saudi Arabia and Oman are going to be the ones that broker the eventual deal, and so I think they're framing that, and there may be some Israeli media or agenda to like push something, either whatever they're trying to do that. But I think in the end, once this gets to a deal, it will most likely be brokered by Saudi and Oman.
So the Iranian foreign minister has said that we are not attacking our brothers in the Persian Gulf. We are not attacking our neighbors. We are attacking American targets. And he says that this is obvious.
Yeah, it's limited to bases, but if Saudi Arabia gets involved, they open themselves up.
2 oil fields, I bet you. 2 oil fields. Sully has that whole thing. He did the interview with Mandani, Professor Mirati. I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name.
Mirandi. Yeah.
You've got to see that interview.
Apologies, guys. Qatar is issuing warnings to civilians. There's huge explosions that are being heard all over Qatar at the moment, and they are issuing warnings to their populace to stay indoors. Something big is happening there, and I'm hearing that the base in Erbil in Iraq is just gone. I'm hearing that it's just totally decimated at this point.
They've been very clear that they're going to be attacking targets that are not military bases, and there's been a lot of footage showing that Iran has been attacking targets that are not military bases in the Gulf states.
Guys, just a quick one as well. I put a video out on YouTube. The tweet is in the nest. Check it out. It's gone live, I think. So if you could do me a favor, just open a tab on a separate tab. I do look half asleep on it. I didn't even look at it. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. But there is a YouTube video. It just tells you it's a quick overview on who will replace Ayatollah Khamenei. If you can do me a favor and open a tab on a separate tab if you're on the YouTubes, and if you're on the X, if you could just open a tab on a separate tab and just give me some support. It's the tweet on the left. It's a video. It's only like 6 minutes long or something. So yeah, that's that, and I'll let Beatrix promote that later as well. But back to you, Beatrix.
Yeah, Herbal's in smoke.
Yeah.
I was saying that earlier. I think Kuwait and Iraq, those are toast, and they will finish off Qatar and Bahrain, and then they're gonna nail Israel all day.